have meddled with something you do not understand.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our Creepypasta readings. I'm Reaper. No, I'm kidding, I'm Chen. And this is the lovely Wanderer-Fehn, and today we're going to teach you about a game. It's a game called Lights Out. And this is the beginner's guide to playing. The preface goes like this. Basically, the author of this ritual discourages any individuals from initiating or participating in this game. With that being said, this guide serves to assist those who are brave and moronic enough to, people who just want to try this kind of shit. And we will tell you about the rules, risks, and rewards involved. Fen, would you like to carry on with the introduction?
For the introduction, the Lights Out game has been referred to by many other names. Some more common names include Lights Off, Light Switch, Room Wars, or simply Switch. No matter the title you may be familiar with, the rules of the game remain the same. Before we begin an explanation and brief history of the game, however, the author would once again like to warn against participation. Persons with pre-existing medical conditions, the elderly, children, and pregnant women are highly discouraged from playing. Only those individuals of fit body and sound mind should consider attempting Lights Out, and only if said individuals understand the inherent risks.
I guess I'm disqualified from that. But anyway, let's move on to the overview before I get more angsty. Now, the objective of the Lights Out game is a simple one. The two players are assigned either to lights on or lights off. The players then race around an assigned building, switching room lights either on or off. The game ends when either side manages to turn all the lights in the house on or off. If the player tasked with turning the lights on manages to illuminate all the rooms in the house, that player wins. It should be noted that even though this is a two-player game, only you, our dear viewer, will be the one actually playing. What is simply called Player 2 will be discussed later on in the guide. But for now, Wanderer-Fehn is going to give you the history of the game. Wanderer-Fehn?
For the history, the history is an obscure one for this game, to say the least. Although nobody knows the exact origin of Lights Out, reports of this game being played date back as early as the commercialization of the light bulb. Journal entries from several countries in the earliest 20th century indicate this game, or games similar to this one, being played worldwide in the Americas, Europe, and Southeast Asia. A correlation can be found between an uptick in references to the Lights Out game during times of war and famine. This is hypothesized to be the case because the unique and highly valuable award granted to those individuals who find success at Lights Out.
Alright then. There's actually more. Sometime during the mid-20th century, the game fell into obscurity. This is not to say that the game had been common knowledge or popular during its history, but instead the game fell from relative obscurity into complete obscurity. Very few references to this game exist from the 1950s onward, and the author has several theories. The author of the guide has several theories as to why this might be the case, but for the sake of staying concise, it will not be discussed in this guide. Lights Out has since existed underground in niche communities from Wicca to deep web forums. This guide is intended for members of these communities to know or have heard of this game. Readers who only now know of the game due to this article should stop reading immediately and refrain from pursuing anything related to this game, but that's not going to stop you, so we're going to carry on. Now, the players. Wanderer-Fehn, would you like to start off on this section?
As previously stated, Lights Out is a two-player game. If you choose to participate in the game, you will be named Player 1. This is because Player 1 always initiates the game. As Player 1, you are able to decide the play area as well as make appropriate changes to this area. You are also able to choose which side you will be on. It is recommended to choose Lights On, as choosing Lights Out will find you running around in the dark for the duration of the game. You may also choose the starting location of Player 2.
Now, Player 2, hereby referred to as It, is to be summoned into the room you have chosen. Summoning procedure will be outlined below. It may not be seen by player 1, but may be felt, often as a cold flash, sometimes as a hot flash. Reports often cite an unpleasant odor of rotting fruit or garbage when player 2 is present. Player 2 follows the same rules as player 1 during this game. However, just as player 1 has a few advantages during the setup procedure of the game, player 2 has been noted as having its own distinct advantages during the game itself. This too will be discussed a bit later. Now, the importance of this player introduction is to understand the differences between you and the entity known as player 2, or it. Begin to think about the importance of the setup procedure and how it may influence the outcome of the game. Wanderer-Fehn, would you like to bring them through the rules, please?
The rules of Lights Out are fairly straightforward. As of the writing of this guide, there exists 7 rules. This section of the guide shall be formatted as a set list. Rule number 1. The game may only be played between the hours of 12 AM to 4 AM. Number 2. The play area must consist of a closed-off building containing multiple rooms and/or hallways with light sources and electricity. Rule 3. For a building to qualify as a play area, it must have at least 8 separate rooms and/or hallways. Rule 4. The participant must be alone during the setup of the game as well as the duration of the game. Failure to follow this rule will result in an automatic loss. Number 5. The game must start with an even number of rooms lit and unlit. If the number of rooms is an odd number, a coin may be flipped to determine the status of the final room. Rule number 6. Once the game begins, it does not end until one player has turned on or off all lights in the building. And finally, number 7. Use of any machine or contraption to give one an advantage during the game is prohibited and will result in an automatic loss.
Alright then. So, preparation time. If one wishes to participate in Lights Out, then a fair amount of preparation work is needed. Many factors should be taken into consideration for beginning the game, and perhaps the most important factor is the building that will serve as the game space. It is known that the arena must contain at least 8 rooms. What may not be known to some individuals is that there's no limit to the number of rooms a play area may contain. This means that a mansion is within the boundaries of the game so long as all other conditions are met. This too means that a 100-story office tower is viable for the same reasons. It is not advisable to choose a building with too many rooms. Most participants would not have the physical capability to sprint around such a large area for an extended period of time. Because of this, it is recommended that player 1 pick an arena with no more than 12 rooms. This will ensure faster rounds with less fatigue. A room is any area within the building closed off with at least 4 walls, a floor, a roof, an entrance and exit, and a source of light able to be manipulated. This includes bedrooms, bathrooms, garages, and walk-in closets. A light source may range from a fixed overhead light bulb to a standing lamp. An open kitchen does not constitute a room. If a closet does not have a light source, it does not constitute a room. If there is a separate building on the property unattached to the play area, it does not consist of a room. Many small to medium-sized homes fit within this player-made restriction. It is advisable that the player picks a place that is familiar to them, be it their own house or friend or family member's house. Please don't do it in mine. When the arena is decided, it is time to prepare the scene. Remove all items within the building that may hinder you from easy access to a light switch. This may mean moving furniture against walls or completely removing it from the premises. Door wedges may be used to hold open doors for easy access to rooms. Ensure that all light switches within the building are working as intended. Make a mental map of all these switches so that even in the event of total darkness, you can still navigate all rooms. Consider timing yourself as you run from room to room, switching lights on and off. If circumstances permit, you may wish to play a practice round against a friend or family member. I cannot offer you advice on how to convince others to play against you, but it is an invaluable tool that should be considered. Would you like to take them through the setup, my dear?
Assuming you, the player, have appropriately prepared your arena, it is now time to detail the setup procedure. It is recommended that the reader familiarize and internalize this section of the guide, even if it means reading this section again. This is because the setup of the game is more than half the battle, and a properly set up arena will increase the chances of survival. Though this game requires above average fitness, it also requires a strategic mind. The process of setup is a complicated procedure. The game will not commence until all requirements of the setup procedure are satisfied.
Yeah, carry on.
The first order of setup is to choose the time you wish to play. As previously stated in Rule 1, the game may only be played between the hours of 12 AM to 4 AM. Many cite the hypothesis of the witching hour to explain this window of time. Regardless, it is recommended that you start the game as soon as possible. Previous players of Lights Out report a direct relationship between the time of night and the difficulty of the game. Starting at the stroke of midnight, or as close to it as possible, will ensure a better chance of success. If one desires a challenge, they may start between the hours of 1 AM to 2 AM. 2:05 is the latest recorded time that an individual has started the game and successfully completed it. There exists a myriad of individuals who have strived to beat this record. However, there exist no reports of successful completion after 2:05 AM. It should be noted that even after the game starts, the difficulty will increase as the time increases. This means that the game must be completed as soon as possible after commencement.
I see. Well, please do not try it at 2:05 AM then. After all, death walks among you. Now then, another factor to take into consideration is the weather. Though the entirety of the game will take place away from the elements, the weather may still have an effect on the game. Avoid playing during a severe thunder or snowstorm. Loss of power during a game will result in a win for the Lights Out player, commonly it. To this end, also avoid playing in an area with frequent power outages. You don't want it to win. Now, once the starting time has been chosen, you must make sure that only you are in the house during that time. All doors and windows to the outside must be shut and locked securely. Once this has been ensured, it is now time to choose a personal item. This item must have value to you. Do not worry, this item will not be sacrificed. Place this item in the room you wish to spawn in. You wish it to spawn in. That means player 2. Once this has been done, you may switch the lights on or off. If its starting room is left lit, it will be assigned to lights on. The opposite is true if the light is turned out. Again, it is recommended to assign it to lights out. It is now time to set up the configuration of lit and unlit rooms. They may be spaced and shaped in any patterns as so long as the 5th rule of the game is followed. When this has been done, write down on a piece of paper one desire that you have. This may be anything from material wealth to love, fame, or knowledge. It is important that this desire not be unattainable or impossible. Damn it. Raising the dead, time travel, unassisted flight, or future vision are examples of impossible desires. Remember, it must be possible and it must be desired. When you have finished writing this down, place the written statement in the room you wish to start in. Your starting room may be in any room that is oppositely lit from its starting room. Okay. So basically, it will start in the room opposite to you. Your written desire is in your room. That's where you spawn, and it will spawn in the room where you've placed your thing. Opposite rooms. Get it? Okay. The incantation and ritual is now ready to be performed. Return to its starting room and prepare to perform the summoning ritual. The incantation and ritual will not be detailed in this guide. This is to discourage any mildly curious persons from participating in this game. If one really wishes to play Lights Out, they may search for the ritual and incantation. Oh, we're sorry. It means that you will not be able to play this just by reading this, but we shall still give you the necessary knowledge. It has been covered and documented a multiple of times and exists both on and off the internet. The only requirement to finding the incantation ritual is patience and a strong desire to participate. When you have completed the incantation and ritual, you now have 60 seconds to find your way back to your starting room. If you are found in a room that is not your starting room, the room with your written statement, the game will not begin and the ritual must be performed again. If the game still will not start, then you have done something wrong in the setup procedure. Okay. You may re-perform the setup procedure as many times until the game begins, but it is advised that one wait until the next night so as to not start the game too late. Wanderer, would you like to take them through playing the game?
You will know the game has started when all lights in the house flicker once. Do not be alarmed, this only happens to signal the start and end of the game. If the flickering persists during the game, that is due to a mechanical failure and not the game. When the game starts, it is time to run. You must run as fast as possible around the arena, flicking lights on. Do not stop running until the game is finished. If a room has multiple light sources, you only have to turn one on for a room to be counted as lit. Though you must be quick, do not be too quick that you injure yourself. Spraining an ankle, acquiring a concussion, or falling down the stairs will not help your chances of success. It will not wait for you to recover, and the game does not start until it is over.
Carry on, please.
You will notice the lights from consecutive rooms turning off. This is it. You will not be able to see it, but you sometimes may be able to sense it. A feeling of unease or dread is oftentimes felt by those who stand or pass through a room containing it. If you should feel this during the game, there's no need to panic. It will not harm you during the game. Previous players have noted that at the beginning of the game, it may take it anywhere from 2 to 5 seconds to turn a room light off. As the game progresses, the time it takes for it to turn lights off decreases. This may be because of the relationship between the time of night and the difficulty of the game, or it may be familiarizing itself with the layout of the building. If one starts the game much later than midnight, it will be significantly faster. Past 1:45 AM, it has been noted as taking less than a second to turn a room light off.
It is ideal to complete the game within the first 5 minutes because of this increase in difficulty as the game draws out. Though you may start to feel fatigue within the first 5 to 30 minutes, depending on your level of fitness, it has never been reported to show any signs of exhaustion. As previously stated, it will only continue to become faster as the game progresses. Any game that lasts longer than 15 minutes is often a lost cause. Do not let this discourage you, however. The longest reported game by a successful player lasted 38 minutes. You will know that the game has ended when the lights flicker once again. The entirety of the house will either be lit or unlit. You will know if you have won based on what happens next. Now the winning conditions. Congratulations, you have won. Return to your starting room to find that your written statement has disappeared. You may be tempted to sit back and wait for your wish to come true, however this is not the case. Whatever your desire, it will not be handed to you. Instead, you will find opportunities in pursuit of your goal that you will not have found before. New doors will open to you, and your dream will be more easily attainable than it was previously. This conclusion stems from interviews with several successful actors, CEOs, musicians, and artists, all alleged winners of Lights Out. Personal accounts from a few historical figures in history also serve to show the conditions of winning. Again, congratulations. You may rest easy knowing that what the future holds for you is bright, and that is not a pun. Now, my dear Wanderer, would you like to take them through the losing conditions?
Not much is known about the terms of losing Lights Out. This is because those who lose are not available to be interviewed or documented. How is it known that someone has lost Lights Out? This information can be gleaned through any audio, video, and writings of the person prior to participating in the game. If the person has expressed a desire or committed to playing the game and has not been heard from since, it is believed that this person has failed at Lights Out. The vast majority of those who have lost are missing persons. Few bodies have ever been recovered. Those have been ruled as apparent accidents or suicides. By reading officer reports, one may glean what has happened to those who have lost. One case found a woman at the foot of the stairs, her neck and spine having been broken in several places. It is unclear whether this was due to an accident during the game or a condition of losing. Another case found the body of a man strewn across the pavement 5 feet floors below his apartment. Again, it is unknown whether the man was flung from his apartment after losing, or faced with the impossibility of winning, threw himself out of the window to avoid the consequences of losing. Either way, those whose bodies have been discovered after an unsuccessful attempt at Lights Out have surely been shown a mercy compared to those who have vanished anyways.
I see. Well, a popular theory that is held within the community as to the whereabouts of those players who have lost, well, many believe that those who did not find success have been doomed to become it. These players have been taken, stripped of their form and substance, and forced to eternally play the game. Again, this is only speculation, and nothing has been proven or disproved as to the whereabouts of those who have lost. In the end, it does not really matter what happened to those who lost. What matters is that you do not find out. So in conclusion, Lights Out is not a game to be handled lightly. The consequences of losing are severe and quite possibly fatal. The author hopes that with this description of the game, possible players are discouraged from taking part in the game. However, as with many illegal activities, persons will continue to do so despite the inherent risks. In regard to this, the author hopes that this guide has helped any individuals who have made up their mind to play this dangerous game. There are many more aspects of Lights Out that fall outside the scope of this guide. If one wishes to know more, then they simply need to search for it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do decide to play, then best of luck to you. I do not suggest playing in this mask as it is quite difficult to see. But you never know, maybe it will get scared. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you want to see more of our creepypastas, and we will of course see you on the next one.